Okay, hello guys. Since the last lesson, we didn't have an audio. I don't know what I did. I did something wrong. I decided to record it to you again just to help you out. Okay. Our last lesson was chapter 8, lessons 3 and 2. If you no, lessons 2 and 3 actually, if you remember. And I will go through them really quickly. Okay, before we go on to the next chapter. Um, Chapter 8, Lesson 2, we started talking about business growth and expansion. Before we started the lesson, I told you guys I would like to talk to you about the meaning of deprecation, because this is a word you would see a lot. In the dictionary, it's the loss of value for a fixed asset. And here you have an example of deprecation. Imagine that I bought a car, okay, which cost $15,000. In 1 year, went to 10,000, then 8,000, and then by the 5th year, it went to 4,000. The loss of value is what we call deprecation. Deprecation is something that can happen in companies. Some people can call it, if I'm not wrong, wear and tear. What is wear and tear? What is deprecation of a company? It's that percentage of products which become obsolete. So the company cannot use them anymore. They're broken through the process. So it's how much money the company loses in production. And why is this important? First of all, each company needs to make an income statement. Okay, this is my income statement where I declare to the government my revenues, my expenses, and my net income. Why is depreciation important? Imagine this. Remember that revenues is the total money that comes to my company, okay? I have a company where my revenues are around $800, okay? And here I need to put my expenses, okay? Cost of goods sold. What is the cost of these goods? $500. Depreciation expense, the broken product, the product that becomes obsolete, the product that I cannot sell anymore. These need to go on my income taxes, $20. So how much expenses did I have in my company? $520. Do you see? So my income, my net income, the money that goes to my pocket is only $280. So this is something really important for big companies to put on their income taxes. Okay? Let me check to see if everything is working. Yes, I think it is. Why should business owners choose to reinvest profits? Why should they grow? How can they grow? First of all, most businesses they have a financial statement and they need to keep track of their business operations. Okay, the most important one is the income statement, which we just saw, which shows the business sales, the expenses, net income, our cash flow, and also our depreciation. Our income statement can show us our net income, how much money comes to me after I subtract my expenses, my taxes. All the funds left over after all the firm's expenses, including taxes, are subtracted. Okay, one of the most important of these payments is depreciation, what we have seen before. Remember that depreciation is a non-cash charge. Here, I put that my depreciation is $20, but I didn't really pay this $20 to anybody. I just don't count on it. It's not going to be part of my income. It's different from the cost of goods, like how much I paid on products to produce another product, or how much I paid for an employee as a salary. It's different. This is non-cash. I don't pay it to anybody. A non-cash charge the firm takes for general is wear and tear. What is wear and tear? Wear and tear is the damage that naturally and inevitably occurs as a result of normal wear or aging, something that loses value as time goes by. So remember that wear and tear is a form of depreciation. Deprecation is a non-cash charge, remember? Because it stays in the firm. It does not go anywhere. It stays in the pocket of the owner of the firm. Okay? But it's treated as an expense. So deprecation, I look at it as an expense, even though I don't pay it to anybody. Going through. Let's talk about our cash flow, okay? How can I reinvest my cash flow? If a business has a positive cash flow, the firm can decide how to allocate this money, what to do with this money. Remember, the cash flow is how much money comes in and goes out. If the business is a corporation, usually the directors, the whatever directors, they may declare a dividend. A dividend is like an amount of money that is paid regularly by a company to the shareholders, okay, depending on the profit. So if I have a company, imagine I'm the owner of Petrobras, I pay a dividend to all the shareholders who have part in Petrobras. It's like a reward for the investment. And of course, an incentive to invest more. What I have left of the money could be reinvested in the plant, in equipment or technologies. If the business is a proprietorship, remember proprietorship, one person only, or a partnership, the owners could keep some of the cash flow as a reward for risk taking, and then they can separate another half to reinvest in their own company. When cash flows are reinvested in a business, the firm can produce new or additional products. This generates additional sales and an even larger cash flow during the next sales period. As long as the firm has positive cash flows, as long as the reinvested funds are larger than the wear and tear on equipment. Remember, depreciation always has to be taken into account. So, cash flow is the money. I can take some of it for me as a reward for me, the other half, or I don't know, 40%, I reinvest in my company so I can make it bigger or better. What's another way that a business can expand? They can engage in a merger. What's a merger? A merger is a combination of two or more businesses to form a single business. When two companies merge, one of these companies gives up its separate legal identity. So, legally, each company has what you guys call here CNPJ. So, one of them has to give up the legal identity. But for public recognition, however, the name of the new company may reflect the identities of both. So let's imagine that McDonald's and Burger King are going to merge, so they make more money. One of them needs to give up the identity legally, but for public recognition, they can keep the name. I don't know, Mac Burger. Then they have a piece of each name. And we have two types of merger. Okay, we have what we call a horizontal merger, and we have what's a vertical merger. Let's see how this works. When I have a horizontal merger, it's like Burger King and McDonald's. They are two companies who are merging together, but they have the same line of products. Here you have an example of a bank, a loan association, which became what? Nickel Savings, People's Building. Nickel Saving and Loan Association, it becomes one, but this is a horizontal merger. I can also have a vertical merger where I have different products, companies with different products. In this one here, I have Hickory Free Tree Farms, okay, and I have the Boston Baseball Bat Incorporated. They're different. It's not the same product. That's why I call this a vertical merger. What is my final name? Boston Hickory Bats. Okay, this merger is vertical, different products, and this one is horizontal, which is similar products. Remember, the objective is to make more money. What reasons can people merge? Why? Okay, most of them, they want to improve the performance and the eyes of the shareholder. Remember, the shareholder is the person that buys the shares. So they want to show this person that this company is doing really well. They want faster growth. Okay, when two firms they merge together, the size of the company is bigger and the sales appear to grow faster. They also have what we call synergy. It's the idea when two firms combine, they both take the best characteristics of each other and become better and stronger. Economic of scale is when firms combine. The larger size usually allows for a lower cost of production, whether in manufacturing, sales, or some other aspect or business. Example: two banks that merge can close some of their branch locations if they formally compete against each other. Imagine again McDonald's and Burger King, they merge, and on Marginal Tietê, they have Burger King and McDonald's. They can close one of them because they don't need it anymore because now they are Mac Burger. Diversification. Some mergers, they like to have the desire to have new products in their lines, okay? One a very good example your book gives you is the telecommunication company, the AT&T, bought a cable TV company. So what is my diversification here? They can offer faster internet access and telephone service in a single package. The customer can buy internet and pay for their phone in one package. Elimination of rivals. Imagine that two companies are rivals, okay? Sometimes they need to merge to eliminate a rival. How? Royal Caribbean Cruises, this is an example, acquired Celebrity Cruise Lines. They bought them in what we call a horizontal merger because they are both the same line of product. So they can double the size. When they doubled the size, they became the second largest cruise in line behind Carnival. So that was good for them. A change or loss of corporate identity. Imagine here they give the example of Value Jet, which merged with Airways to form Air Tran Holdings Corporation. And you see here, Value Jet is not here. The name is not even included. What happened? Value Jets had a tragic accident in 1969, which is not good for the reputation. So they decided to merge with Airways. Okay, therefore they can keep their product, but the customer will not see their name. So they kind of lose their identity, but they keep the revenue. We also have conglomerates. What is conglomerate? It's a corporation that may become so large and so big that mergers and acquisitions that it turns into a conglomerate. It became really big. So this is a firm that typically has at least four businesses. And these four businesses usually have unrelated products because it has grown so much. We also have multinationals. What is a multinational? They are large corporations who have become international in scope. A multinational is a corporation that has service operations in many different countries. So imagine a multinational company as a citizen in each country. They can be a citizen in Japan, in Brazil, in Canada, in France. Okay. A good example that we have there: General Motors, we have Royal Dutch Shell, we have Sony. Okay. Multinationals, they're usually very welcome in any country because they can transfer new technologies and generate a lot of new jobs in areas where jobs are needed. They can also produce tax revenues for the host country, which helps the nation's economy. So the multinational comes, let's say, to Brazil, the government can make money by the tax revenues, and it can also generate jobs. Some people say that some multinational companies, they abuse power sometimes by paying low salaries or low wages to workers. And sometimes they threaten the host country to leave the country if the country does not give them lower tax rates. However, many economists believe that a multinational company only brings advantages to the country. Entrepreneurial education and incubators. Okay, so let's say I need to start a new business. I have a great idea, but I don't have the money. So the problem with starting a new business isn't just about having a good idea. It's often about having funding and the ability to put the idea into action. In able to fill this gap, many states and universities have begun to promote startup incubators. What is this? There are places where potential entrepreneurs, people with great ideas, can get training into accounting, engineering, along with potential financing to give life to a business concept. So these people, they have funding, they have training, so they can give life to their ideas. Many ideas have specialized curricula designed so that graduating students can get degrees in entrepreneurship. Many of these programs have competitions at the end of their studies. So at the end of the student studies, they have competitions where students can compete for startup funds from either public or private investor. So not everybody's going to get it. It's a competition. It is said that many of these people, these entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, will not become successful entrepreneurs. But still, people will believe that these programs are essential because without them, many people would not even have the chance. We have venture capitalists. What's a venture capitalist? It's a provider of investment funds to a new, unproven business. I have a good idea, but I don't have the money. Okay, so a venture capitalist can give me money, but what do they want? They want equity. They want an equity or owner share. They want to own half my business. Venture capitalists are usually well known in the startup community, and a rigorous presentation is usually required to secure funding. If I want a venture capitalist to invest in my idea, I need a rigorous presentation to present my product. So, okay, they want equity in the ownership. They want to own my company as well. In return, what else do they want? Okay, they want equity. They may want as much as 25% a year, okay, on the money that they have invested. They are rigorous terms, but often they're very necessary for a person who has an idea but doesn't have money. The venture capitalist will also offer helpful expertise. If I have an idea, I want to start a company. They will come and help me with the capital. They will have ownership, but they can also have help me with expertise, and they can introduce me to the entrepreneur to other entrepreneurs in the area in the industry to help me solve the problems. So they have the money and the expertise. We also have what we call angel investors. Okay, these people that like to fund to help startups, families, friends, or other businesses. The term angel is because they are usually more interested in helping the individual survive than getting a substantial return, different from venture capitalists. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have crowdfunding. One of the newest ways for an entrepreneur to secure financing is through crowdfunding. It's also known as crowdsourcing, sorry. It's the making of a direct funding appeal to a crowd of possibly interested investors on social networking. This happens a lot at social networking. If a potential entrepreneur has an idea that he or she wants to promote to an interest group, that promotion can be made for very little cost because you're using what? Social networking. All that is required from the person is a good idea, a successful crowdfunding strategy. A person needs a strategy, a suitable media platform for advertisement, and a crowd willing to listen and to contribute. Crowdfunding has its roots in Facebook and LinkedIn, when people can get advice on things like how to become more effective speaker. But it has been used to solicit funds for startup investment project. Okay, a very famous crowdfunding company. It was, I think you guys are familiar with it. It's Kickstarter. Okay, in a little more than 10 hours, from over 90,000 backers to bring up the favorite Veronica Mars spec. Take a look at this, guys, at Kickstarter. Okay, take a look at. Try to research it. I think most of you have heard of it. Okay, they got their funding actually from social media. Chapter 8, Lesson 2, nonprofit organizations. So remember, all of these organizations, they are profit organizations. They pay taxes. Their main objective is money. What is exactly a nonprofit organization? We need to know one thing. Most businesses, they use scarce resources to produce goods and services because they want to make profit. Okay, some organizations, they operate on a non-profit basis. A non-profit organization works exactly like a normal business. to promote collective interest for its members. So, what is different here? They work exactly like a normal organization, a normal business, okay, but they promote the collective interest of their members rather than seek financial gain for the owner. So, here, what is more important are the members of this organization and not the owners. That's why we have a nonprofit organizations. You have many types. You have community organizations, which are nonprofit, schools, churches, hospitals, welfare groups, and adoption agencies. We also have cooperatives, a consumer cooperative, for example, which is, or a co-op, is a voluntary association that buys bulk amounts of goods. Imagine it's an association that buys a large amount of goods, like food or clothing, which can be sold to the members at lower prices than charged by regular businesses. These members of this consumer corporation usually devote many hours a week or a month so they can um, help keep the costs down. We have a service corporation. Okay, it provides services. What kind of services? Insurance, credit, childcare. So it's not based on goods, it's based on services. A credit union is a famous one. It's a financial organization that accepts deposits from and makes loans to employees of a particular company or government agency. It's a service co-op. We have a producer cooperative. It's made up, of course, of producers. We have farmers, for example, where they promote and sell their products directly to markets, consumers, or companies that use the members' products. Some of these co-ops, such as the Ocean Spray Member Co-op, market their products directly to the consumers. So sometimes they sell, the producer can sell their product directly to the consumer. Um, how do some nonprofit organizations promote the interests of workers and consumers? So, nonprofit organizations are not just limited to co ops and civic groups. Many other groups also organize this way to promote the interests of their members. Here we have labor unions. It's a very important group. Okay, it's an organization of workers formed to represent its members' interests in various employment matters. The union participates in collective bargaining. Okay, it negotiates with managements over problems or issues such as pay, working hours, healthcare coverage, vacation, sick leave, maternity leave, and other job-related matters. They also lobby for laws. They go to the Congress and they lobby for laws that will benefit or protect their workers. The largest one in the United States is the National Education Association, which is the NEA. Okay, it represents teachers in the education system. From here, we go to your lesson 3 assignment, Legacy of Unions essay. Okay, it's basically after you read this chapter about labor unions. What do you have to do here? You need to write an essay in response to this prompt. You have to answer this. Your essay should meet the criteria of the essay rubric. You will see the essay rubric when you click into the assignment. So what do you have to answer? What is your response? What features of the modern labor industry nowadays, what features do we have? Which are the results of union action? Remember union labor, union action? What do we have now in modern labor industry that are the results of union action? And which of these features do you believe are no longer necessary in today's workforce or should no longer be enforced? Remember, you're going to go and research about labor union. Okay, what features of the labor union do we have today in modern industry? And try to look for some features that you believe are not necessary nowadays in nowadays workforce, or maybe they should not be enforced so much. This is your essay here. Okay? Yes, fine. We're going to continue talking. We're talking about nonprofit organizations. We have professional associations. Guys, we have many of these even in Brazil. They consist of people in a specialized occupation interested in improving the working condition, skill levels, and perceptions of the profession. In Brazil, we have a famous one. It's called the OAB, if I'm not mistaken. In the US, we have the American Medical Association. We have the American Bar Association, which would be similar to OAB, which is the ABA, among other associations. Business associations, they also organize to promote their collective interests. That's what they do. Okay? The AMA, the ABA, they organize to promote their collective interests. Most communities have a local chamber of commerce. What's a chamber of commerce? It's an organization that promotes the welfare of its member businesses. The typical chamber, which sponsors activities ranging from educational programs to lobbying for favorable business legislation. Remember, lobbying is when they go to the Congress and they put a certain pressure on our politicians so they can get favorable business legislation. Let me talk about this one. Some business associations help protect the consumer. If I'm not mistaken, in Brazil, it's called Reclame Aqui. The Better Business Bureau in the United States is a nonprofit organization sponsored by local businesses. It usually provides general information on companies and maintains records of consumer inquiries and complaints. Like I said, it's similar to Reclame Aqui. How does the government operate as a nonprofit organization? We don't really pay attention, but they can be a nonprofit organization. Many governments participate, they have the role, okay? Usually it's direct or indirect. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the indirect role of the government. How does it have a nonprofit organization indirectly? Okay. The government plays an indirect role when it acts as an umpire to help the market economy operate smoothly and efficiently, or when it gives a group of consumers a boost in purchasing power that they might not otherwise have. This role is indirect because a government action does not encourage direct competition with private sector producers, but still has a certain impact. Okay, let's see some examples of indirect role. We have the antitrust laws, like the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890, were passed to make monopolies and combinations in restraint of trade illegal. Why is this impact indirect? Because it prevents firms from doing some things like combining to make a monopoly without directly competing with them. We have scholarships. The government grants or scholarships to students may encourage more students to go to college. So they give scholarships to students. Okay. These funds will have, in the long run, impact on creating a workforce that is more productive. So indirectly, by giving scholarship to students, these students will be better prepared for the workforce, for the market, and therefore have better income. Social security payments. Some people who receive social security checks, they get a purchasing power. They have money to put into the market. So the government is indirectly helping the economy. Let me just talk a little bit about direct, the direct role. Why the government sometimes has a direct role? It's because the government supplies or good or services competes with another company. What's an example here? We have the US Postal Services in the United States, okay? Which was originally called the Post Office Department. But the USPs become a government corporation in 1970. But the USPs, they have a competition. Who is their competition? We have the Federal Express and the United Parcel Service. So this is a direct non-governmental organization. We have the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the FDIC. It ensures deposit in our nation's banks because the insurance, the FDIC supplies could be provided by privately owned businesses. So they have competition. This is a direct role of the government. Whereas here, when a government gives a scholarship to a student, there's no competition. So they are playing an indirect role in the market as nonprofit organizations. Job submission review, job submission, no, sorry, lesson submission here. We have an assignment about outsourcing job debate. What are you going to do here? Let me show you here. What are we going to do? You are in chapter 8 and you will go to your debate, which is here. And this is the question here. Is it ethical for businesses to outsource jobs to foreign countries when there's a high unemployment in the United States? What is outsource? For example, when Apple has a business in China to produce the chip of the cell phone, this is outsourcing, okay? When you outsource to other country. So is it ethical for the country to do that when there's a high unemployment in the USA? Is this ethical? This is for you to think about. In today's businesses, it's not uncommon for companies to outsource certain business functions. They may do so to save money on internal staffing. Remember, if you outsource labor from China, it's much cheaper from the United States. Okay? And what is here your assignment? You need to read the debate. Okay? And then you need to write the answers to the 3 questions under analyzing the issue. Okay? You finished, you copy your answers, and you post here and you submit. Okay? Remember, you're going to read, it's more than 1 page. Okay, and you have question 1, question 2, and question 3. Okay, finished, submit about outsourcing jobs. Lesson 3, the market failure and the government. This one is where you have to create a card. First of all, you need to read chapter 7, lesson 2. Okay, remember, we are talking about chapter 8, but this lesson is in chapter 7, lesson 2. Lesson 2, it will talk about market failures. We have 3 types of market failures, 3 reasons why we have market failures. Read them. Okay, try to create a cartoon or a drawing. You can use Canva if you want, or they give you here another one that you can use, another online program. Or you can draw it by hand. Remember, they're not going to give you a grade on your cartoon, on your drawing. Okay? After you complete the drawings, what do you need to do? You need to add a statement for each drawing. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write a statement explaining how the government might step in to try to fix the cause of market failure. You guys remember when we're talking about one type of market failure? The word has escaped. I cannot remember the word. It's let me just go here to the market failures. We're going to go to chapter 7, and then we're going to go to lesson 2. And let's see the types of market failure. Okay? Why do we have market failure? Not enough competition. This is one. You need to make a drawing. Not enough information. Resources that can't or won't be moved. An entrepreneur, a business does not want to move the resources. Too few public goods. This is one of the reasons we have market failure. We talked a lot about spillovers or externalities. Remember, they're the same thing. Negative spillovers, okay? How can the government interfere? Remember when we said, if a company, a big company, they have this factory by the river. And what is a negative externality? What is a negative spillover? There's pollution in the rivers, okay? How can the government step in? I don't know, maybe they can raise taxes on the company, taxes based on pollution. This is a way a government can step in to help, okay? So this is what you have to do. Drawings about the market failure and how the government can help, okay? You're going to do this assignment on a separate file, okay? And then you will save the file on your computer. After saving the file on your computer, you will click on Browse My Computer, navigate to find the file, double click on it, and then you submit. Okay? Thank you for participating today. I hope that my audio is pretty good. Since the last time my audio wasn't really a great deal. Guys, remember to always read through the chapters, through your lessons. Okay, this is really important because I really cannot go through all the lessons word by word. I can give you a general idea. And thank you for watching again. Have a nice day. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.